They say good girls follow the rules. They smile, they show up, they keep it together. But we know that behind that polished exterior, there's a whole lot of anxiety. Hey, I'm Caitlin, chronic overthinker and host of Good Girls Have Anxiety. This podcast is for anyone who's ever looked calm on the outside, but was secretly spiraling over that one text they sent 3 days ago. Each week, we dive into this messy, hilarious, and sometimes uncomfortable truth about mental health. People-pleasing, boundaries, burnout, and why saying no still makes some of us sweat like we're on trial. We're talking real talk, zero fluff, just honest conversations, a lot of laughs, and maybe a little bit of swearing. Because being a good girl doesn't mean you're okay all the time. And having anxiety, that doesn't make you any less powerful, lovable, or worthy. So take a breath, unclench your jaw. You're in the right place. This is Good Girls Have Anxiety, the podcast. Hello and welcome to Good Girls Have Anxiety, the podcast. I'm Kate.
I'm Layne.
And this is Sam.
Hi.
And this is our first trio podcast with Sam. Sam's going to be joining us from now on, every episode.
Yay.
I think you're like the comedic relief that we were looking for, like the lighter, like we're pretty funny, but we're pretty serious.
You're funnier than me.
No, you're not. I think we bit, but you and I cackle together.
We sure do.
We sure do. Can you like talk about yourself for a couple, like just, as long as you want to?
Sure.
Tell us about you.
Well, hi, I'm Sam. Mom of two, photographer. Hire me. Yes. Calgary local, Stills by Sam. Look me up.
Hashtag. What's your
my
plug your at.
Stills by Sam on Instagram.
www.stillsbysam.ca. Literally cackle
for all your photography needs. But yes, live in Calgary. I have 2 kids. Currently at home on maternity leave. Career TBD, baby. We're in a reinvention stage of our lives.
Well, now you're a podcaster and photographer.
Oh, she's got a lot going on.
And wife to audio engineer.
We've got a lot on the go.
Yeah.
Spent the last 5 years working in film and television in costuming. So decided to move away from that. Move back to Calgary, the big city. Yeah, don't know what to say other than that.
Yeah. Well, we love you, and we're excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Should I maybe talk a little bit about the guests that we have coming up? Because tomorrow we have one of like our, I don't know, I'm really excited for it. Mm-hmm. We are going to have the little sleep coach, Liz. She's going to be with us tomorrow, and we're going to talk to her about all things sleep. And I think you and I have a lot to talk about with sleep and babies.
Yes.
I mean, you know firsthand with Zion, like sleep, and then sleep anxiety too, and then there was something that I wanted to talk about, but I'm too tired to remember it right now, so we'll hopefully figure that out tonight. I'll make a note of it in my phone, and then should I mention the other 2 that we have coming?
Do it, manifest it.
I mean, yes, manifest it. So this one is nearly confirmed. She's confirmed. We're going to have Jen Faison from the podcast Betrayal. There's also a Disney Plus docuseries that is all about her experience of betrayal. It's
so good.
So good.
Just binged it all.
It's so good.
So good, so fascinating, and so like, how is that real?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's going to be like a lot of judgment, or not going to be. I'm sure that they've been completely judged, like Jen being like people judging Jen and being like, why, how could you not see that?
Yeah.
I could see not seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
Like you want to see the best in people.
Yeah.
So we're going to definitely dive into that. I'm really excited for that. And then also Heidi Klapman. I hope that I said that right. If I didn't, I will re-record this. From the 90-Day Universe, which is I'm so excited. She's from 90 Day Last Resort. She's one of the therapists, possibly James, but we don't know yet. And also Angela Valiant, our Calgary local. She is a radio host in Calgary here. She is one of the hosts on 107.3 The Edge, which I should have said that a lot more clearly because that is one of the stations I work for.
Say it again.
107.3 The Edge, 107.3 Edge, 107.3edge.com. I got it. Yes. So yeah, we have some really exciting guests coming up, and we have Sam, who has literally not stopped chuckling and cackling, and we're so excited about this. So now you got the trio. Laura took a little bit of a today and we borrowed her apartment because she's watching my kids. Yay. Love you, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Little shout out. Yes. Thank you, Laura.
Cutest apartment ever.
I said, I'm sorry for how I acted. And I literally, like, that Monday, I booked the doctor's appointment. I saw the doctor. I was like, I know what I need to do. And I talked about it all weekend with, like, the girls that I knew who were on anti-anxiety medication. And fuck, we should have been recording this.
I was going to say, have you talked about this yet?
We did. I don't think as well as I just explained it there, but I talked to everybody I knew who was on medication that weekend. And then that Monday, I think she was able to see me right away. And I just told my doctor, I want to start something. Yeah. I know this is what I need. Like, my doctor's really good like that, where, like, I do my research, I tell her what I want, and she gets it done within reason. Yeah. And so, yeah, I started medication because basically, like, Laura and I talked through it. But Laura's life was very unique because her brother, it's not just autism. He has serious brain damage from birth. He was born at, like, 30 weeks or something. It might have been like 22 weeks, something ridiculous. Like, he should not have survived. And her mom had a lot of complications in pregnancy. It was just, like, really, really tough. And then they debated even having Laura, but their focus always had to be Andrew first. But then Fiona had to balance being a mother to somebody who's, yes, neurodivergent, but, like, literally has a lot of brain damage and will always need support his whole life. Yeah. And then Laura, who's neurotypical. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's what last week's episode was about, raising two kids who are completely different, but trying to be the parent that both of those children need.
Insane pressure.
Right? And, like, so, and I know Fiona as well. Fiona's a nurse. I actually think that she was working in the hospital where I was helped. Like, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and, like, in Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, and she was working in that hospital at the exact same time.
Way.
Yeah. So Fiona being a nurse, she is very, like, she's who I call when, like, something's weird, with my kids, and, like, what do I do? Yeah. And so she, like, has a lot of experience in different, like, as far as parenting, but health and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And she also goes on and off of medication quite often. And when she started listening to the podcast, she said to Laura, I wish I had this when I was in my 20s and 30s. Yeah. So it's more about... What
did you go on?
I started with sertraline.
That was postpartum with Janie on sertraline, and it was incredible. Yeah, I did something different this time. But
what did you do this time?
I did. It's like, it's an SNRI instead of SSRI because I had bad, which I could go on about, terrible nipple pain from breastfeeding. It was nerve pain. With Janie, postpartum, I had really bad postpartum depression, but I didn't know, and I've struggled with anxiety previous in life, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I knew that I was struggling, but everybody says, like, baby blues are normal, blah, blah, blah. I was isolated. I was out living in Layne, had no family, had no friends, although everybody showed up for me in incredible ways and came and stayed. And in retrospect, I almost had more support after Janie than I did with Elliot because people would come and stay with me. But I still felt trapped. Like, whether I had the support or not, I ended up having it, but I felt like I didn't. So it took way too long for me to actually start sertraline. But when I did...
Okay. But
love.
Did you get, like, really sweaty?
No.
So I just changed because, okay, so here's the thing. I remember Laura telling me that, sorry, Lo, I hope that this is okay that I'm telling everybody they got a little sweaty. I remember her talking about it, and, like, that's why she switched to a different medication. And then I don't know if it was in my head or what, like, I was getting, like, and I'm not, like, somebody who perspirates very much, like, unless I'm, like, really in the gym and, like, really, like, going. And then I started noticing myself, like, my neck, like, her hormonal. I mean, I'm not too far out of postpartum.
I was gonna say,
so it might be that, but, like, there was something where, like, my neck would get sweaty, and
I've never heard of anything like that.
But I was getting, like, really anxious because my neck was getting sweaty. But I know that this is a symptom that some people had, so I was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna talk to my doctor. So I just started Cipralax, and but the switch over, I know that they say because it's an SSRI, whatever it is, it should be pretty smooth, but it still was a lesser dose than I was taking. So I was miserable last week. Like, I hated everything, everyone, don't talk to me. I mean, like, other than my kids could do no wrong, but, like,
I'm the opposite.
Was like, ooh, stay away from me, sir.
Really?
Don't touch me, sir. If you touch me, I might slap your hand. Like, it was just, I wanted nothing to do with, I mean, my kids were definitely annoying me too, but I would be able to like walk away. Steve, on the other hand, is like a gnat. And you're just like, so when's the period over? When's the, when are we going to do it? And it's like, like I'm just ready to like.
Don't even.
Are you like better now with it?
And I think so. I don't know. Like I was PMSing at the same time. So that might've been a little bit of it too.
Did the sweats happen like similar timing to like before your period came? Or was that?
No, it was like the sweats happened. Like, see, I feel so silly saying that. It was kind of like, like the weather's been like really hot and really cold. Yeah. So I was feeling like I was like what I'd imagine menopause to feel like.
Yeah.
But more sweaty than I've ever felt. Like I could be in shorts and a tank top. And my arms would be fine, but my neck. And then my neck being like dewy just made me feel like
Dewey's in, baby.
Dewey's in. But it felt like I was like on fire.
Yeah.
And then like somebody was like spraying my neck. Like it was just an awful feeling.
Do you feel like emotionally better now though? Like after
I think so. It's like I think yesterday and today I've been better. But I could feel like like the teapot, like where it's just like starting to boil, and I could feel like it like getting to like my eyebrows, and I would have to like walk out of the room, and
that's what I'm so scared of with medication, because I should totally be on medication. Like my boyfriend's always like, girl, like go to therapy and go get on some anxiety meds, because like I really struggle, and like I hate the period of adjustment so much, because like I was on medications all through high school, like I was on Zoloft, I was on antidepressants, I was on a bunch of different stuff. And I just hated the adjustment period. I feel like my body doesn't react well. I hate messing around with the dosages. Like, I just don't like it. I just hate it.
Interestingly, I also hate medication, but have postpartum love me an antidepressant.
Well, yeah.
In university, I got diagnosed with ADHD. I think it was very clear far before university, but didn't get diagnosed till then. And then I started on Concerta, hated it, and went to Vyvanse. And
I love Vyvanse.
Vyvanse, which I love.
We've talked about Vyvanse.
Have you?
Vyvanse. I also have ADHD, and I went on Vyvanse in my last year of university because I was failing out of classes. Too. Like, I was struggling so much, and then I went on that, and I was like, wow. But I don't take it every day now because I'm like, you know that? Do you ever see those reels that are like, what if I lose my sparkle? Like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel on Vyvanse. I'm like, I'm not fun anymore. Like, I have no personality on it.
But Sam was a really good employee when she was on Vyvanse.
Yeah, honestly,
I was on an Excel spreadsheet on Vyvanse, and I can conquer the world.
I did my internship when I was on Vyvanse, and I created some of the best content. I have like social media content I have ever created. On the internship,
put it on your resume. It's as a Vyvanse prescription.
Literally, the internship stuff is my portfolio because it's the best stuff I've ever created. Because I was like hyper focused the entire summer, but I also was like hyper focused the entire summer.
It gave me riddling anxiety.
Yeah,
I was panic attack.
Yes,
and I had never had
that's the problem.
Textbook anxiety until I started Vyvanse, and it threw me.
Yeah,
when I say threw me, I was spiraling. So then I tried. During the peak of it, so like Vyvanse hits at a certain point, and that's when like the heart starts racing.
It just sounds like doing Molly.
Well, you are.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Like, I've wanted to try Vyvanse.
You can sell.
I crave Vyvanse.
You can sell. Okay, so I didn't do this. So like disclaimer, I did not do
wink,
this.
Wink,
wink. You can sell Vyvanse in university campuses for high amounts of money because the kids that
I would buy it. That's why I'm on the way to go to university.
And if you don't have ADHD, that shit's like. It's like literally like you're on speed. Like
that's like Ritalin too, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that Desperate Housewives episode where like the blonde one does it just so like she takes her kids' medication, so she has the energy to do all the household chores for her like crazy kids?
That is, I need that. Honestly,
girl, I thought about it so many times.
But then it spirals you. You pay the price at a certain point.
And she has a full blown panic attack and like cries to her husband.
This was me in university, and I cried to poor little Andrew. And he wrote, hope nobody's listening to this, wrote some final papers.
Hope everybody's listening. Oh, nobody heard that.
Wrote like my final essays. It was so bad. I was not going to graduate university. It was my last bit, and I was Spiral City. So my doctor prescribed Ativan for the peak. So you mix a little Vyvanse, a little Ativan, and then I just spiraled so bad for 6 months afterwards. I was like, it was so bad. I like couldn't feel, like I didn't even remember what it felt like to feel an emotion. Yeah. It was so bad. And so that cocktail just threw me.
Vyvanse kind of did that to me.
But then I continued on Vyvanse, which I shouldn't have. But I did.
But it's hard to get off it too. Like I was, like that's where I was at this like cusp with, yes, I was feeling icky because of my neck, but like could I live with that? Because it was taking off the edge because I didn't want to be that mom that like walked out of rooms because I couldn't handle being a mom in that moment.
That's me.
But, and anytime anybody I've talked to about this or like has listened to the podcast and like we've finally like connected on those things, they're like, I felt like that. Like we all feel like that.
Yeah.
Like my mom popped off. Like she didn't have the outlooks that we did, right? Like so I'm trying not to do that. You know, everybody wants to be just a little bit better than their experiences.
Yeah.
But
it's hard.
It is
so hard.
Yeah. I think it's also okay though to feel anxious like when you're a mom. Like how are you not supposed to?
Yes, anxious, but when you feel like you're going to explode, that's the point where like I knew that I needed to stop. What is your, like, how do you spiral? Like, where's your panic attack? How do you know that you're about to pop off? Like, I'm not talking like pop off and like yell into your steering wheel.
I was going to say, so what I learned in university when I started going through true panic, and I say true panic attacks, but there's multiple ways it can present. But when I started doing the like, oh my God, call 911, I'm going to die. My heart is racing. I'm having a heart attack. But it was a full-blown panic attack. That started after my little medicine cocktail. Oh. So then I went to therapy. And that was the best thing that could have happened because I started, in university, it's free. And so I went weekly to therapy. And that was my first introduction to it. And when I went the first time, she like handed me this pamphlet that was like, panic attacks can present in 2 different ways. One of which is an anger outburst. One of which is this like, I'm dying, panic attack sort of way. And I was like, holy shit, my entire life I have been having this panic attack and didn't know that's what it was. And I hated myself for it because I would get so like, it felt like 0 to 100, pop off the top and could not control. And usually it was in private, like me, myself in my room. And that's the thing that I don't want my kids to like be a bedroom kid, like going through those feelings on their own. But so to what you say is you don't want to be the mom that has to walk away. I'm the same way, but your girl pops off, so I walk away a lot. But
we all do.
Yeah, it's true. So that's when I had learned that can be anxiety coming up that way. So I have a very short in-between period. So my anxiety, and when I'm like boiling that kettle point, it does not take long to get from like point A to point B. And we did so many things in therapy of like trying to calm yourself down in that in-between period. And I have to walk away. Yeah. I have to, or else I pop off. Yeah. I started with my daughter. I was doing deep breathing. So like I could feel it creeping up. And I'd start doing deep breaths, but I'd freak out not long after. So my deep breaths started triggering her. Oh. She's like, Mom's doing deep breath. I know the screaming follows. So yes. So I started, you know what?
But that gets you too. Like it's true.
Yeah.
You know, like that's it hits her and then it hits you harder.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that rebound. But for me, a recent one that I have a new therapist that has been great is go get an ice pack. Put it in the back of your neck.
I've heard of that.
I've done
that. Or like
that.
having sour candy. Sour candy can like nip it right in the butt.
But I'd eat it.
Bud? Yeah, you're supposed to eat it. Like no, you're supposed to
eat it.
spit it out.
The night before I have a panic attack, and it would be gone. It wouldn't stay in my
Andrew, hide sour candies, like the warheads. Hide the warhead somewhere.
Oh, warhead. That's a good idea.
I've had a warhead in like 10 years.
I wouldn't eat those for fun.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Good Girls Have Anxiety. If you haven't already, please subscribe, follow, and share, as that's the best way to help our little podcast grow.
The ice pack thing really helps.
Yeah, you've done it?
Well, okay. So to answer your first question, I have a lot of anxiety at night and less in the daytime. It's probably because I don't have kids yet. I think that'll spike when I have
that'll
children.
make it worse.
Yeah. But like
you will just you'll die.
So.
But my anxiety's like always been at night, like while I'm trying to fall asleep. And then I'll like start overthinking everything, and then I'd like go into this weird little like spiral thing where like now I'm awake till 3 a.m. and then I get 4 hours of sleep and then I'm worse the next day. It's always been like continuous. But when I started getting migraines, I started sleeping with ice packs on my head because I was like, I'd have a migraine every night. And then as that got better, I actually found that like I was sleeping better with the ice pack, even if I didn't have a headache. And then I looked it up one day just out of curiosity. I was like, I sleep really good with ice on my head. Like, what is that? And it was like, do you have anxiety? And I was like, yeah. And it literally said, like, it was like one of the ways to like combat your nervous system is to like shock it with something else. So like while you're sleeping, it's in like a constant state of like shock, but it's actually like calming shock, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it actually really helps. I put it on my head or like the back of my neck or something. Like pretty much every night I have an ice pack.
Have you ever seen those? They look like hats.
I have one of those.
Do you?
Yeah.
That makes me anxious. Like
I don't
too
have the
cold.
ones that cover my eyes.
I think it just like goes.
Yeah.
On your
It's not.
eyebrows.
I
It's
should
not
get one
that
of those.
bad, though.
I
Have
would
you
love
tried
that.
them?
I did, and I didn't.
didn't like
I
it?
didn't like it. I returned it almost immediately because I was getting some bad headaches when I was pregnant. But yeah, no, it just didn't work. I returned
think
it.
my
Amazon
body's-
return by.
I think my body is like so accustomed to the cold now that I'm like, yeah, it's great. It could be colder actually.
But it might have been for you. Like you get migraines. I
Yeah.
don't generally get migraines unless
Yeah.
I'm like, or headaches. I get when I'm like dehydrated.
I get headaches because I drink Diet Coke instead of water.
Real. I mean, it's probably why I get migraines, but I'm not gonna stop. So
I mean, do you, girl? Do you? As I'm just trying to love the Diet Coke. Oh, it's so delicious. I like it. Like,
We're going to get you.
yeah.
you're gonna get addicted to the aspartame. Don't
It's
worry.
true. I also used to not like it, but here I am.
I'm just burping, like trying to like not burp in the mic. Like that's really what's going on here. I'm like, syrup and bubbles.
Tasty. Okay, yeah, what's yours?
So I've been meaning to talk about this on the podcast for a while. So it's kind of long, but it's big. And I'll kind of start when I was 11. I know this is going to sound like it's really long.
I
Long
love it.
story. Is the first time that I passed out, like literally unconscious for a couple, like maybe a minute or two. And I was holding the Canada flag at the Remembrance Day ceremony downtown Brampton, Ontario. And what I've been told about this story is one day the flag was up, the next second flag was down, so was the girl holding it.
No.
And
gosh.
the next thing I remember is my mom was there too. I remember being in the back of an ambulance, like the St. John's ambulance, and the guy being like, oh, maybe you didn't eat this morning. And I'm like, well, yeah, I did. I had eggs this morning. I remember exactly what because they ask you those things, right?
Yeah.
And then that like spiraled kind of where suddenly at 11 years old, I was very active. Like I did a lot of sports. I was well nourished. Like I was just like an active, like very athletic kid. And it like kind of spiraled into being assumed that I like either had like an eating disorder or there's something like with my like a heart murmur or something wrong with like my head. Like nobody knew what was going on, but I was passing out 1 to like 5 times a year.
My goodness.
This happened for years. And I would go like get all these tests done all the time. Like my mom was taking me in and out of hospitals every single time that it would happen. And it happened once on vacation, once at a baseball field. You know, it was all these like random different places. And I was always scared of this happening again. So like I kind of like lived my life around this passing out and nobody had an answer for me. So everybody had their own theory of what was going on and just like throwing ideas at me. It was always like, have you eaten anything? And like that, like then that kind of like got into like this body conscious thing where like then like 1 second I'd be starving myself and the next second I'd be like binge eating because I didn't know what was wrong with me. And it happened for years. Like there was one time that happened at a nail salon and some guy like saw me passing out. I don't even know what happened, but he grabbed my arm and my arm popped out of the socket. And I was like in the back of an ambulance and I come to and because of course like the nail salon, they called 911 and then I'm in the back of the ambulance. My mom goes to meet me at the hospital. I remember like talking to the paramedics and I get to the hospital. My mom said that because I'm still like kind of in and out of it, I get to the hospital and my mom's like, she's running towards me like, oh, like, is she okay? And she said that when she found me, I was like flirting with the paramedics. Like 1 second I'd be out, the next second I'm like right back to it.
Crazy.
And it happened all until I met Steve. The last time it happened, it was like my 27th birthday, I think it was. We were in Edmonton at the time. I was living in Grand Prairie. He was living in Milton. And we just like met in Edmonton for my birthday. And we were at Sonic Field Day in Edmonton. It's a festival. And we were in the hotel and we were in the hot tub. We get out of the hot tub and I like start feeling like woozy. I'm like, it's going to happen. And I had never told Steve about this before. So I'm just like, I think I'm going to pass out. I didn't really tell him any context. And like, I kind of remember going in and out of it in this chair and like in the pool. So there's of course like tile everywhere. So if I fall, I'm like dead. And of course, like not dead, but you know, And I'm thinking like, I've only been dating this guy for 6 months, but like, I'm just thinking about like staying conscious right now. And so he somehow gets me to the elevator, and apparently that's when I collapsed. And I'm retelling like the story of like how I'm remembering it, but also how he's telling me. And he said that like I fell, he caught me. We were also on tile right in front of the elevators. He got me in the elevator and like was like kind of carrying me, but I was like in and out of it, but kind of passed out. Brought me to the hotel, and then I like came back to it. And that was the last time that it happened. I explained to him like I'm fine, like I'm fine again. Like I can drive myself home because I had to drive to Grand Prairie. He had to take a plane that day. And, we were just like, we parted ways, and the whole time he's just so terrified for me. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And then we moved to Denver, and we talked about it a little bit more. And like, we had like, we've been together 7 years. Oh my God. Has it been that? Yeah, that makes sense. That's 7 years ago. I'm 33 now.
Not quite.
Well, almost 34. So, but yeah, that was the last time it happened. So it's kind of been in the back of my mind, but it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened since then,
Crazy.
Yeah. And like the last time with him, it's like it stopped as soon as I met Steve. It was weird. And then I recently discovered this thing called Bowen therapy. Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
Have you?
Well, I have, and you and I talked about it a little bit already.
Okay.
But
So Bowen therapy is where they work on, is it your nervous system?
my understanding of Bowen therapy was a little bit different because my massage therapist also did Bowen therapy. So I never had like a classic Bowen therapy.
Right.
So
okay.
I don't actually know much about it. I've had it done, but not really knowing what it is.
Okay. In the meantime, can you just quickly Google it?
Yeah.
And then just so like AI can explain it for us. So I discovered Bowen therapy, just like it came up on an ad. I'd been going to chiropractors for years because I always have this like long-standing ache in my body. And I saw this thing for Bowen where it's just like a different kind of treatment. And I went for my first appointment, and I guess she's a doctor, so she owns the practice, and she was like, I'm going to do your consultation, but then one of the therapists is going to do the rest of the appointment for you, and she's going to do the movements. So we sit down, and she's like going through my medical history and everything, and I'm like, oh, a couple sports injuries and blah blah blah, like nothing crazy, no big surgeries, yada yada. And something had brought up, well, yeah, I used to like pass out. And
Just
casually, right? Because the only thing that anybody had, like, I'd gone to one therapist after my first divorce, and he was like, well, it sounds like an anxiety attack. And that's the first time anybody had ever said that to me. And I was like, oh, wow, maybe it's an anxiety attack. And I thought that maybe me acknowledging it made it better because it only happened a couple more times after that. And so I see this doctor, Dr. Teresa, well, I don't know if she's a doctor, but she was there. Anyways, Teresa goes, oh, that's the vagus vagal. Or that's a vagus.
The vagus nerve?
It's here, hold on. She called it a vagus. It's a thing. Like it's like a syndrome. Vagus. It's okay, so the vasovagal syncope, commonly known as a common faint, is a condition where the body overreacts to certain triggers. So when I told her that, she goes, oh, that's a vasovagal syncope. And it's basically your body going in fight or flight, sending all the blood to your heart at one time, and your body just giving out. It's a like a symptom or, whatever. So when I like just kind of Googled it here.
And it's triggered by like anxiety.
It's triggered by anxiety.
Well, yeah, all of those things
flight.
you said, you were in like very public places too.
Yeah.
Like,
Public places. I was going through something it was, or like I just like gone through something like with the whole thing with Steve the last time. That's when we decided we were going to move to Denver. So I was going to quit my job, move to Denver with this guy that I've known for 6 months.
Wild.
And yeah, wild. I'm like, I don't know. If Blake wanted to do it one day, I'd be like, absolutely, girl. Like, just keep your phone close because mama's going to be coming to see ya. So when it's explained here, it goes, a condition where the body overreacts to certain triggers, leading to a sudden drop in heart rate and blood pressure, which can result in temporary loss of consciousness. The vagus nerve, part of the autonomic nervous system, plays a key role in the process. So it was my body reacting to all the things that I was going through and just going, all right,
we're done,
right? Yeah. And it was like, I cried in this consultation room. Like I know it doesn't take me much to cry, but I got like teary eyed because I felt like my whole life flashed in front of my eyes where nobody knew it was wrong. I walked around with like pacemakers for like years. Just like they would do another doctor would be like, oh, I want to try this. Or like they did a bunch of like
monitor tests.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like, it was
you
like
have
stuck
this
in my
like
bra?
sling and like the little pads on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do that.
Honestly,
I actually feel like I have something not near as bad, but similar where it was like anxiety driving physical symptoms for a long time.
Or they did like, I remember them doing like the squishies on my head.
EEG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did like all of those things for years. And I look back and like my poor mom, like always taking me to these doctors and like nobody ever telling me anything.
to be honest, it just sounds like I'm willing to bet that that's a condition that women struggle with, and there's just no research.
But
As,
now
like,
it seems like
everything
there's
else.
research. Like
Yeah.
I nobody could ever tell me that. And now she was just like, yeah, it's this thing.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
The amount of money that the medical system would have paid trying to diagnose was crazy.
Still paying Caitlin's medical bills.
Sorry, taxpayers of Canada. Good old OHIP.
That's where my
She was
$2,000
overwhelmed.
This is gold. Did you look up Bowen therapy? Did it tell you?
Yeah, I can read it.
Yeah.
Bowen therapy is a gentle, hands-on therapy that utilizes soft tissue manipulation to stimulate the body's natural healing processes. It involves a series of precise rolling movements over muscles, tendons, I don't know that word, fascia, combined with pauses to allow the body to respond. This technique can be helpful for various conditions, including pain management, stress reduction, and improving mobility.
So I have noticed I've been sleeping better. I feel I'm having less Advil and Tylenol, which I was almost taking it every day. Like I was having a hard time like getting regular tasks done in the house because I was just like super sore, and I thought it was just postpartum, the kids, the weather, like all of those things. But it really has started, like the first time I thought I was being duped, I was like, this has to be a joke. You've got to be kidding me. Because they come in, they do the movement, then they walk away for 3 minutes. And it's an hour of that.
Are you laying on a bed? Like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
It's like a massage bed. Like
Does it hurt?
It does hurt in some areas. But so they've been focusing on my vagus nerve, and we just started with my hips because my lower back has been such a problem. And then remember how I injured my ankle?
Yeah.
So your ankle and your hips align so much that they were like, well, your ankles aren't going to get better until we align your hips. Huh. So, or I think they said
vice versa.
There's another word that they use, but anyway, so it's that Diet Coke, man.
I brought us all Diet Coke and now we're burping the whole time. Whoops.
I love this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I thought I was being duped, but it's like it really works. So there were some things where she did something to my ribs, and I'm like, oh, that freaking hurts. But I've been having trouble with my ribs for 2 years. It's mostly my right ribs. And I thought that I had kidney disease or you got hypochondriac kicks in. And I I went to my doctor for that, of course. Sorry. Now it's AHS who gets to pay for my shit.
Tack that on.
Tack that on the bill. But yeah, then she did something to my ribs that they'd been trying to help with for so long that I was going to a massage therapist last year, and she was like, oh, they're overlapping. They're spasming. So there's a lot of fascia and spasms in your ribs. Let's loosen them. But whatever she's doing now, it's allowing, there's something that's opening up to allow my body to naturally heal, which
Crazy.
I mean, we were talking about not taking medication. I've never had birth control. I've never taken birth control in my entire life. Ever. I tried it when I first got sexually active, probably took it 1 month. And then I was like, I'm good.
Crazy.
Just won't do the deed. And then I I don't know. I guess I gambled the rest of the time. I don't know what I got.
That's
I got
crazy.
lucky.
That is
wild.
Listeners, don't do that.
But now I'm well, I don't know.
Well, this day and age, birth control sucks.
Birth control sucks.
I'm not on birth control either.
I'm very grateful that I never went on birth control, but I also did a little bit of cycle tracking. I also had a very I knew my cycle.
Then that's easier for sure.
Which was easier. It also, I think, made it easier when I got pregnant. Like, the first time was a happy accident. But Steve and I were just kind of like, whatever. Like, we were at that age. It was the pandemic. Like, we didn't think about it. She was a happy accident, absolutely. But as soon as I was 6 weeks late, and as I knew it before I did the test, even though I was in serious denial. But yeah, like, it just, like, the cycle tracking, like, not going into everybody's choices of how they want to use contraception. But, you know, I'm very grateful because of all the issues I hear so many people having now. I'm grateful that I never went on birth control.
Yeah, I was on, because I had really bad acne and, like, a lot of PCOS related issues, hormonal issues. And so I did, it was Diane 35.
What is that?
I think that's what it's called. So it's a birth control that is like, I'm going to get this all wrong, but I think it's a higher estrogen. So it puts you at a little bit of an increased risk of blood clots. But it's really good for people that have hormonal acne. So it's primarily for hormonal acne. Not even that great of a birth control, but it's also birth control. So I was on that for years. Wow. And then I went to a new doctor and they're like, you should only be on that for a few months. You need off of Diane 35 immediately. Wow. And I could not get my hormones right after that. Could not. I tried so many different birth controls. My acne was out of control. All my PCOS symptoms were just wild. I got an IUD. It like helped a lot, but my acne was so bad.
Are
so
you on
out of control
now?
No.
Okay, good.
I got pregnant. We're trying, but right away. And I thought it was going to take months upon months because I was always told you have bad PCOS. It's going to be really hard to conceive. So I was in my head like, this is going to take forever. And I didn't have a regular cycle. I didn't even know if I ovulated regularly. So when we started trying it, we conceived first cycle with Janie, our first. Wow. Yeah, so that was very lovely. And getting pregnant with her reset my hormones. And I tell you, I don't have any of the same issues that I had before. And then in between pregnancies, my hormones were good. Like, truthfully, I don't have any hormonal acne anymore. My, like, periods are still kind of wild, but not crazy bad. So having Jamie, like, you got bad hormonal issues, girl, just get pregnant.
Thanks for listening to Good Girls Have Anxiety. If you haven't already, please subscribe, follow, and share, as that's the best way to help our little podcast reach all you anxious gals around the world.
Well, Steve had, I think it was like a coach or something, but he said like that his wife, because it's suspected that I have endometriosis. I have a really bad really big burst cyst on my right ovary. And it's not great. And it's worse when I'm like,
well, we're really getting into it.
And like, right, whatever.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, like when I first like got that tested and whatever, he told his coach for whatever reason, he was like, "Oh, my wife has it too. Like every time she has a kid, it gets better."
Crazy,
isn't that crazy?
Let's have another one.
Because for me, it definitely has gotten better. Every kid, like. So I refuse to go back on birth control now because.
So are we sure that there's not going to be any more kids?
Well,
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
He had a delicate procedure a few weeks ago. So
hi, Andrew.
Should not be.
Just don't make eye contact.
1 week ago. We have some sensitive nards in the room with us today. One testy is a little touchy. And no more babies for me.
I mean, okay, so when we were leaving the hospital with Wyatt, Steve asked the nurse, so where can I get a vasectomy?
Oh my God. He was actually, I started saying we were like 2 and done. Well, first we were 1 and done. I was like, I can't do this again. This is fucking crazy. I cannot have another baby. What the fuck did I just do? And then eventually you like get to know your baby and I'll settle into things. So we're like, okay, fine, I'll have another one. We had Elliot, and he's just been a little dream. And so I said to Andrew, well, maybe I do want to have another one. This is so great. And then the next day, he's like, so I've booked the appointment. So he put his foot down.
1 kid per parent. Oh, my God.
For
and you have,
us,
like, the
at
most
least.
beautiful kids.
Oh, thanks. So do you.
Well, Elliot looks exactly like her.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's bananas.
Copy and paste.
You probably saw a picture.
I don't know.
I can cut this out if you want. Okay, yeah.
That's him.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he her twin?
Yeah.
Like
looks just
literally
like
the
you.
same person.
He's
Like
nobody.
who dis, new hair.
But Blake looks just like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you had like Blake just took your face and put it on a 3-year-old. That's what Blake is like.
Means they're both me shit disturbers.
Now I gotta get bangs that go like this.
Cut your own bangs crooked. She'll do it in your sleep as payback for those bangs.
Mom, I cut your hair.
Mom, my new
God.
haircut.
Oh, we're funny.
Okay, can we talk about road rage though?
Yes. Oh my god.
Because
Road
girl,
rage?
this I
sorry.
can go into it.
Okay. So this all started because I started seeing. Did I tell you what I saw?
No.
Okay. So I was like deep in a TikTok scroll or a reel scroll, and suddenly road rage came up, and I just kept seeing like all these like wickedly weird, and like I couldn't imagine being that angry at somebody for so long. Like even on the way here, I think I told Layne, I like kind of cut across traffic. It was really hard to get over. We were on the phone. I'm like, oh, there's my opportunity. And I cut across. I was on the phone with you when this happened. This like 16-year-old new driver stops. I'm in the turning left lane waiting for my turn to go. And she like, I'd barely even cut her off. I wouldn't have made that choice if I didn't have to. And she literally stops next to me, full elbows out the window. And she's yelling at me, giving double fingers. Sis, your hands aren't even on the wheel.
She is too confident if she's that little.
She was 60. Like
That was me at 16.
She looked like Bad Baby. Like
was
hood rat. Like catch me outside. Like I was laughing.
Sounded just like her. She's here.
How about that? She's at the door. She's at the door right now. She's coming to get me. I was actually like looking back, like, is she gonna follow me now?
That's so funny.
But she was like, full stop. Like, there's cars now going, sis. Like, what are you doing? Keep going.
I wonder if it was
angry.
the same girl because my grandpa was in town and we were going out somewhere together. My grandpa and I and my grandparents. And this girl behind us, we were at a roundabout, and there was a car in front of us, and the girl behind us was honking at us, like as if we should go. And there's literally a car behind, like in front of us.
White Toyota.
No, she was in but she was in a blue something.
Babes, there's a lot of us out here that are that angry.
You're not this bad. I will not allow you to be this bad.
She was like
No, but when I was young, I
or
was.
16, and she was giving my grandfather like double middle fingers. I was like,
Okay, I wouldn't
Not
have
the
done that,
grandpapa.
I was like, what is happening? And she like sped up, like she cut us off. She sped up. We were just like, okay. And my grandpa was literally just like, she's gonna crash that car and then she'll stop doing that. And I was like,
Karma will get her. That is maturity, my friend.
Yeah.
But this one of these reels that I saw was somebody like, it was like a 4-way stop. It was probably in the US. Like I think it was like New Jersey or something. And I'm gonna cut that out because I don't want Americans coming at me. And this lady gets out of her vehicle, goes over to this other person's car, pulls down her pants, and defecates on this car.
oh, the real?
Okay, so
I
then,
saw that.
So and the whole time, and then she goes back to her car and drives away, and I'm like, how could you be that mad for that long? To like the
So
whole.
do you
like,
remember that I was actually raised in New Jersey? Do you know that? Do you know that?
I do remember that.
Okay,
yeah.
so I was raised in New Jersey.
But I'm thinking
Yes.
like no hate, right? Like
No. New Jersey.
I don't want you New Jerseyans
New
going
Jerseys
at
will
me.
actually like people from New Jersey will actually take pride in how crazy it is to drive there because it's insane. Like it's actually.
How long did you live
crazy.
in New Jersey?
I lived in New Jersey for 10 years. I moved when I was 10, and then I moved away when I was 19. Wow. Yeah, so I was like raised there, and I learned how to drive there.
She's a real American.
She's a real American, and then she lived in Northern Ontario, where like nobody lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so they are crazy. Like American drivers in general are just a little more aggressive than Canadian drivers, but like New Jersey drivers are like, and they were from New Jersey. I know what we were talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
They were from New Jersey.
I mean, I am hoping there's not a bunch of people in reels defecating on other people's cars. So
Like,
hopefully it's the same reel.
I'm pretty sure it's the same reel, but no, they were in New Jersey. But like New Jersey driving is next level. Like people complain about like Calgary driving, and I went back to New Jersey like 2 years ago to visit friends, and I like almost died like every single day. Like in the first 10 minutes of driving in New Jersey like 2 years ago, a girl ran a stop sign and literally almost hit me and went head on with a truck. Like it was crazy, and I was like, cool. So Calgary driving versus that is insane, but the road rage in New Jersey is that crazy. Like they'll get out of their car and like scream at you. That's the thing that's scary though in the States is you don't know who's carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's scary, about that. But they're that insane. Like, that didn't actually really, it shocked me and like that's insane. But I was like, oh, they're from New Jersey. Okay.
Guys, the devil inside of me wants to be that. Not anymore.
No, you don't.
No, I don't want to be that. But my husband, Andrew, could you see me doing something like that? Not pooing in the car. I'd never do that. But getting out of my car and yelling at somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We could all see it. I would not poo on a car. But if I let myself go, do you know how quickly I could get out of my car and scream at somebody?
I let myself go one time. I let myself go one time. Here, I went full New Jersey on a little old man.
Yes,
Okay, no, listen to what he did.
Okay,
he was
okay.
driving a manual. Okay, and we're at a yield. We're by the IKEA in Calgary,
Okay.
the one IKEA.
Yeah.
And he is in front of me, and I'm in my old Jeep, so like I shouldn't have maybe gotten that mad. I drive a new car now, I'm a bit upset. But I was in my old Jeep that had a million bumps and bruises, and he literally did not know how to drive a manual and rolled into my car.
Ooh.
And then drove away.
Okay, that's a hit and run. You can absolutely get out of your vehicle.
I didn't get out of my car. I had a Costco ice cream because it was by the IKEA.
He spilt your ice cream.
No,
she threw it at him.
No.
Okay. Oh.
I had my window down. I had ice cream in my hand. I had my window down. I had music blaring, and I was screaming at him. I was like, pull over, like on the side of the, like literally screaming at him and catching
And then she
up to
threw
him.
her ice cream
I did not throw my ice cream.
on his car.
I did not. But
No.
we pulled into a Walmart parking lot. I got out like full, like this is the most New Jersey I have felt in years. Like this is how I kind of used to be when I was on the road because you kind of have to be aggressive. I was like, what are you doing? Like if you can't drive a manual, get off the road. Like you literally just backed into my car. I had like a dent on my hood.
so nice as you're saying this.
And he was like this little, he wasn't little. He was like an older guy. And
He was old, so he was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm driving my son's car. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I went all Canadian and I was like, okay, like, are you okay? And he was like,
All of a sudden, she's checking on him.
yeah, I was like, because he had his wife in the car. I was like, are you guys okay? And he was like, yeah, we're okay. I was like, okay. And we both drove away and I didn't even like get his information.
Okay, I
I was
love
like,
you, bye.
whatever. I was like, I'll just take the dent.
Do you want a tow? Do you want me to call my CA?
I was like, do you want the rest of my ice
Here's my
cream? Like, I'm
social
so
insurance
sorry.
number.
But no, I like actually like drove, like I tracked him down and I made him, I thought it was weird that he was going to drive away though.
Yes.
Like what the heck? You
Absolutely.
literally know
Yeah.
you, like, how could you not feel
like,
that you
panicked.
Yeah.
Aw.
Stop, because that's so Canadian. In New Jersey, they would
I
have
don't
just,
feel bad for that guy. You're out here saying,
in New Jersey, they would
know.
have crashed back into you. That's the thing.
Oh.
Like,
So, this is just making me think of the old lady in the Walmart parking lot when I was like on my lunch break and I shouldn't have gone to the grocery store, but I did. But then I went to the grocery store and then this lady in the Walmart parking lot in her big Jeep backed up into me and kept going. And then I honked my horn and then I got out and then I was like, sorry, are you okay?
I got hit.
Because like, I don't know what, I almost didn't take her information. And then like, I
You
don't know.
backed into your car?
Oh yeah.
A
Yeah,
lady-
like it was really weird.
A lady backed into, in New Jersey, a lady backed into me while I was walking.
Oh.
Like literally while I was walking. I had my keys in my hand at the grocery store. I had my keys in my hand. I was walking into the grocery and she backed into me while I was walking behind her car and my keys hit her car and they scratched it. And she actually had the audacity to be like, I saw you. You didn't need to key my car. And I was like, bitch, you literally just freaking drove into me. Like, you're lucky I'm not calling 911. Like, say sorry. Like,
hit me with your car.
she literally hit me. She didn't really like she didn't knock me over. She just kind of like tapped me and I hit her car with my keys like this because they were in my hand. And I was like, what the actual hell? But that's the energy.
Saw me?
Exactly.
That's the energy in New Jersey though. It's like, you keyed my car, so now I don't know if you're going to shoot me or not, even though I hit you.
Literally, as we're saying this, I'm like, if you're listening from New Jersey, turn it off now. And you don't know where we record from Saskatoon.
They don't know where Saskatoon is.
Good.
Good.
They won't know how to spell it.
But neither do I. So.
It was like actually crazy. I think about that moment a lot. It was insane. I was also like a minor. I was like in high school. I think I was like 17. Like she literally hit a kid and she just kept driving.
Wild.
I'm not about it.
Okay, but
There's a
why
story I have about a New Jerseyan, and I'm not going to tell it on here because I'm scared that somebody come at me.
Can you tell us after?
You know another person from New Jersey?
I do.
Wait, that kind of makes me sad. I'm not the only one.
It's a good story.
Keep it. The Jonas Brothers are from New Jersey.
Are
They went to
they?
my high school.
Shut.
Okay.
They went to my high school.
Okay, just don't cut me out, okay? I still want to be your friends too. No, she loves.
They went.
Jonas Brothers.
I am a huge Jonas
Me
Brothers.
too. They went to my high school.
Shut up.
Yeah, because their dad's a pastor, and I went to a very religious, like private high school, and Kevin's
eyes right now.
Kevin and Joe. Well, so my school was was Eastern Christian. It was Eastern Christian. Haley Bieber also went there. Haley Bieber also went there.
I don't care about her. I care about the
real. But it's like a flow school. So you start in like K and you can go all the way to 12. But they're all different campuses.
You're very Christian school. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So like the two older ones, like Kevin and Joe, went to my high school, and then Nick was in the middle school.
Were you? No, you're too young.
No, I was too young. But I was on yearbook, like for all, I don't know, 2 years of high school, like a long time. I kept doing that class, and we had old pictures of them though, but we weren't allowed to like redistribute them. But sometimes like pop magazines or like just like journalists would call our yearbook and be like, how much like we're gonna offer you money for like Joe Jonas's like high school pictures, and we always had to say no because like we're not allowed to like sell them.
Yeah.
And it's also just kind of a jerk move, but
it's kind of icky.
Sell them. Looks on both of your faces. Says the girl that has signed 1 million NDAs but has never read a single one.
Where's my signature? Oh, there
sure, sign here. Never read an NDA.
I have some tea for you.
Never read an NDA in my life, but I've signed a lot of them.
But yeah, they went to my high school.
Okay, well, we have a lot to talk about. We could just do a Jonas Brothers episode because big fan.
Their church, like a lot of people I know went to their church as well.
I just went to the American Dream Mall.
Really?
For Jonas Con.
You went?
I went to Jonas Con. No way.
My friend was there.
Really?
Yes.
Best day of my life. And I have 2 children.
You went to the water
park? I got married. Yes, I did.
My friend was literally there.
I was front row for
You traveled to New Jersey for Jonas Con?
Sure fucking did. Left my 5-month-old at home. Yep.
Wait, it makes me happy because I used to drive past the American Dream Mall every day. I lived like 20 minutes from it. That was like my commute. Like literally my commute.
Wow, I'm fangirling.
Yeah, no, they are very big in New Jersey because everybody knows who they are. And like the Christian community too in New Jersey is really small. Like everybody kind of knows each other. So like, you know, one person, you know, somebody who knew the Jonas Brothers, like it's just how it is there.
Crazy.
Yeah. Or you know somebody that knows their family.
Well, I'm also, well, I'm really outing myself right now. Also went to Vegas with some friends for the Jonas Brothers concert like 2 years ago, and went to his parents' restaurant at the MGM and met Kevin Sr.
Oh, cool.
In Franklin, Jersey, and Kevin was so nice.
Yeah. No, I've heard
very little.
Yeah.
Very little. Like he's your height.
What are you trying to say? You're my height.
I'm the tall one here.
Trying to make it he's like 5'4". I don't know. Look it up. But I would suspect he's like totally 5'4".
Yeah.
But a very, very sweet, nice man. Yeah. Very lovely.
I've heard nice things.
Yeah, their dad.
Oh, I was about to ask
I'm gonna fuck one of his sons.
Did you watch the documentary? Like the Jonas Brothers documentary?
Watched all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that situation, like with their church and whatever, like that was pretty accurate.
Ooh, is there tea?
There's tea, yeah.
Oh,
so,
I'm definitely gonna watch it now.
So I can just give you like the gist if you want.
You can do that, and I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Jonas Brothers, like the town that they were in was very Christian. It's also very like reformed, which is not a bad thing, but it's very like Dutch reformed. So people are very strict about their religion and like how they view it. And the school we went to is also very Dutch reformed. So it's like just very set in its ways. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But the pastor, like their dad was a pastor at I forget the name of the church, but one main church. And the congregation, I guess, was mad. This is all alleged, I guess, but was mad that the Jonas Brothers were making secular, like pop rock music.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even though there was really nothing. Like I was 7 years old.
They
listening to
wore
Jonas Brothers.
purity rings.
Like they were just like cute guys.
But it was not Christian music.
It just
they
wasn't
weren't a Christian band.
They were singing secular music.
I actually didn't know that they were Christian.
Yeah, Well, their
now I
dad
do
is.
because you guys are telling me.
And then they kind of like pushed their dad out of the church.
Oh.
Like he was like the head pastor, and they kind of like fired him and pushed him out.
And they were like, oh, this is the part I remember, living in housing given by the church. And then they were like kicked out of their home, kicked out of his job. And they had to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty messy. And like a lot of people I know like had families or went to that church like during that time too. And like nobody really talks about it, which is the weird thing. Like I don't know if people are like they just don't really care or if they were like too young to remember, but like definitely my generation, like people totally went to that church and they just never really talked about like what happened there.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It was super weird.
Well, I feel like I'm in the room with the Jonas Brother right now.
You are, basically. No, you know what was fun though is like sometimes you'd get a book at school and it was like one of their books.
What?
Yeah, because you know you sign your name.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so like we'd get like old, like I think I had a Scarlet Letter that was Kevin's.
Oh, no way. Like the book.
Yeah, like
oh
the
my
book.
gosh.
Because we had really old books, like, you know.
Did you read Scarlet Letter in school?
No.
I did not. I think it's...
It was traumatizing.
I went
Anyway.
to a Catholic school. I don't think they do that.
Well, I went to a public school. Like,
It was
yours
traumatizing.
was...
It was Christian.
Yeah.
But it was traumatizing book. Anyway, yeah, so sometimes you'd get them and it would be like Kevin Jonas, like
That's so cute.
2003, and you'd be like, oh.
I love how this turned into a Jonas Brother. That's
Yeah.
so...
Absolutely. We'll do an entire episode.
Okay, can I talk about my road rage though?
Yes.
Okay, so my road rage, to throw a little empathy out to the road ragers, I'm a reformed road rager.
Oh, God.
I would like to say I do not scream at people anymore. Instead, when I'm mad at them, I just go in front of them and then slow down to piss them off.
Yeah.
But, because that, you know, it's like getting even. Or I wave, like smile really happily and wave. So I've changed my ways. But
I'm proud of you.
when I was young, it goes hand in hand with anxiety, actually. So I had to talk to my therapist a lot about it because I would go from 0 to 100 when driving and snap off the handle. And I was like, I'm going to get out of my car and shit on the hood of somebody else's car. Because I am so angry. But it usually was when I was running late, which is always, I'm always late.
She's just the ADHD girl.
I know. You know what? One of my bosses put it as I'm an optimist. I always think I'm going to get there on time. I never think I'm going to be late. I'm not willingly like, I'm going to sit here and wait till I'm late. No, I think I have time. I think I've got time to go fill up my water bottle. I think I got time to go do this other thing. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, fuck, I did it
related
again.
to anything more. I have literally never related to anything more.
I never-
This is why I work remote. It's like 80% of the reason because I can't show up on time for shit.
Me neither.
Like, literally,
do you know what I started
nothing.
saying in job interviews? That I'm late.
No,
Because then they can't get mad at me when I'm
Honestly.
late. Because I'm like, I told you.
people ask me, like, you know, in job interviews when they ask you, like, what's your weekness? I
like-
literally say time management. I'm like,
I'm reliable.
I cannot be there
I'm
on
gonna
time.
be there. I'm very reliable. I'm gonna be there 15 minutes late though. Reliably 15 minutes late.
Quality over quantity.
Hey, you know what, baby? I'll also stay 15 to 30 late. But like, you know
had
what you're getting with
Lunch
me.
detention more times than I did in high school because I was late every single day.
Ah, okay, I'm glad you get it.
Yeah.
But when I'm running late, once it hits that I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna be late, I spiral. And then I start like, I need to go. I need to get here. I need to speed up. And then somebody's in my way. Oh, then you cut me off? Oh, girl, now I hate you and your family. Like, it just spirals so fast. And so what we really boiled it down to, though, which really helped, is that my therapist was like, well, how come you're so worried about being late? What is it about you being late? And I'm like, well, I don't want to show up there like a mess. They're all like waiting for me. She's like, well, what's so wrong about showing up a mess? How come you don't want to show up that way? And I'm like, well, because then they're going to like look at me like, I'll have my life together. And they're like, well, what's wrong with you not seeming like you have your life together? And I'm like, oh, this is a very good point. It's fear of being judged or fear of being perceived a certain way. That of course I don't want to be late. Of course it's poor manners to show up late. I don't want to keep somebody waiting. But the reality is you have. Yeah. You driving there 10 kilometers an hour faster isn't going to change your journey. It's just going to make it unsafe. So you're going to have to just sit with the feeling of like, oh, now you feel a fear of being judged, a fear of being seen as less than is what it kind of boiled down to me. Like, I'm a hot mess. I don't want to appear to be a hot mess. But now I'm okay with that.
But like now you own it.
Now we own it. It's a part of me.
Yeah.
But then I hadn't owned it yet because I hadn't realized it. But anyways, once I kind of like figured that out and boiled it down, then I can like take a beat. And once I start feeling it coming, I'm like, you know what? It ain't worth it. She's a mess. It's good. It's all cool. People love me anyways.
And you get to giggle it off.
It's true.
It's almost like comedy when people get road rage now.
Yes.
Like I thought about that bad baby for like the whole, like from the main intersection all the way here. And I walked up the stairs and that's when I let it go. And then I still told Layne about it and you about it.
That's
so like
funny.
those things stick with you though. But like I laugh at her now, but like I don't know, like, you know, she might be like going down this road and like she probably hit somebody like 5 kilometers up, right? Yeah. Like, who's she hurting? Not me anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't
You
have
know?
like public outrage. Like, I don't really like yell at like so they can see me, but sometimes I'm in
but
my car.
You internalize it.
Well, I'll say it out loud, but I don't like yell at them.
But do you internalize it still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually know. No.
You just let it go.
I just let
It's
it.
fluff in the wind.
It's
It's a fart.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just think of every time you get angry on the road that it's a fart.
It's just
It's a fart.
A mere fart.
That thing that happened with that driver who cut you off, they're just a fart.
Just a fart in the wind. Yeah, I find it doesn't bother me as much. It's more stupid people that bother me.
Oh, yeah.
My friends and I used to do this really mean thing where if somebody did something stupid on the road, we would all point at them and laugh in the car.
Wow.
Which is so mean when I think about it now.
No,
but we
it's
were like,
fine.
it's funny.
But
Better than screaming.
or it's like when people park in like a handicap spot and it's like, just because you're stupid doesn't mean you're handicapped.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's not the right term. It's not. It's disabled parking.
I don't know.
But yeah, stupid ain't a handicap.
That's it for this episode of Good Girls Have Anxiety. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and review. If your brain's still spiraling, honestly, same. Follow us on Instagram at Good Girls Have Anxiety, email us at goodgirlshaveanxiety@gmail.com, and send it to a friend. We appreciate every share, download, and engagement. Take a breath, unclench your jaw. You're doing great. And remember, being anxious does not make you broken. It makes you human. Okay, love you, bye.